Hi, I'm here to do my recap of my non-official Jane Austen July and give a few writing updates. Okay, so I did participate in Jane Austen July, not officially, because I only got two and a half of the prompts done. So I got Mansfield Park read, and I watched the new Persuasion adaptation, and I read a little more in a uh, retelling of one of the books. It's called The Clergyman's Wife, and it continues Charlotte's story from A Pride and Prejudice. And so that's what I got done for Jane Austen July, and I'm here to review Mansfield Park and the new Persuasion movie, and give you a few writing updates at the end. So I did enjoy Mansfield Park. This is the fifth Austen book I've read. The only one I haven't read is Northanger Abbey. Um, and I thought it was a little slow paced in the beginning, a little meandering. Also found it was a little unfocused in the main character, especially in the beginning. The end, the second back half of the book was pretty good. It got a little more focused, a little more on Fanny Price, as the character instead of the entire Bertram family. Also thought it had one of her best villains because, yeah, Mrs. Norris was awful. Hated that character so much, and I want her pecked to death by a chicken. I'm just saying. And uh, I liked the character Fanny. I thought she was relatable. Bit of a victim in a lot of ways, but in the end, it sort of worked out. The rest of the Bertram family was a bunch of idiots. Lovable idiots, but idiots nonetheless. And yeah, and the two sort of peripheral villains, Mary and Henry Crawford, they were interesting. I really enjoyed them as antagonists. I thought they had a lot of facets of character. So I did enjoy Mansfield Park. It's not my favorite, but it's a pretty good book. And that brings us to the adaptation of Persuasion that's on Netflix. Just a minute, I need some water here. So, yeah, they turned Persuasion into a rom-com. Yeah, it was not good. As an adaptation, it was not good at all. Persuasion is not a rom-com. It should not have been turned into one, and it was just some of the scenes were cringe-worthy. They were so bad. Now, I don't want to say anything bad about the actors because they did a good job, and honestly, I would have loved to see any of them in a straightforward adaptation of Persuasion because I think they were really good as their characters. But the way they adapted it was just not great at all, especially the first 30 to 40 minutes of the movie. It was just like, if you can get through that without actually throwing up at the awfulness of it, good. You're doing well. The back half of the movie was a lot better. It was a little more straightforward, not so prone to comedy. Um, yeah, but the movie was awful. I mean, they basically turned Anne into a cynical alcoholic, and poor Wentworth. I mean, the actor tried, but they didn't really give him a lot to work with. I mean, he was basically brooding most of the movie instead of actually being a character. We never really got a sense of who Wentworth was in the entire movie, which you do in the novel. So yeah, avoid the Persuasion adaptation on Netflix. It's just horrible. Anyway, so that's my two main Jane Austen July reviews. Uh, I also, as I said, read a little bit more in The Clergyman's Wife, which is not a bad book per se. I'm not entirely convinced that the author has Charlotte's character down, but I'm only a little way through the book, so I can't tell how it's going to end or what's going to happen yet. So, but it's a pretty good read if you want a nice kind of Jane Austen-y romantic um, period type book. So Anyway, and I'll have the links to that book down below in the description as well. So that was my small contribution to the Jane Austen July event going on. And now for some writing updates. Now, as anyone who seen my previous July update, there was a big setback with one of my books being banned from Amazon. And that setback has kind of delayed the publication of all my other books, except the second story in the Hayward and Anderson series. That may go out in October, but everything else has been pushed back to 2023, including the horror novellas, fairy tales and nightmares, and my Norse Tales books. They are not coming out this year. They will all be out next year instead, hopefully. And so I don't have much going on as far as updates going on for the rest of the year. So you won't be getting another one of these update videos until October. And unfortunately, I do have a lot of revamping and reworking to do from what happened. And it's kind of just put all the schedule out of whack. So it's no helping it. That's just the way it is. I've also closed down my book cover business because of this, and I won't be doing them anymore. So it is what it is, and sometimes things just don't work out. So that's basically the writing updates. I'll still be writing. I just won't be publishing anymore this year, except with the exception of the one short story. And I'll be putting that short story up on beta for beta reading on Story Origin soon, probably today or tomorrow. And I'll also be putting the first book of the Hayward and Anderson series, The Ghostly Tower, up on Ko-fi for direct sales, if anyone wants to pick up a copy now that it's no longer available on Amazon. So that's the writing updates. That's the Jane Austen July updates. And I'll see you in the next video. So bye for now.